Hey guys, Red Rain here, back with another episode of Let's Play Pokemon LeafGreen Nuzlocke Randomizer. So, off screen I did a whole bunch of grinding, as you can see here. Definitely making really good use of that, this EXP share thing. That's really helping me get Beatrix up to level. Because it sucks battling with a Weedle, even in Viridian Forest. But, yeah, let's go ahead and take on some trainers here. Well, that is what you do with them. Oh, that was the other thing that I randomized. It's gonna have, like, no impact on, like, the game, like, at all, but I randomized the trainer names, too, which, I mean, I never really remember the you know, like, the bug catchers and stuff, but we'll have to see how, like, the gym leaders, what their names end up being, because they won't be their original names. I figured that was one variable that I could switch and it wouldn't have, you know, any impact at all on, like, making things too difficult or unreasonably fun for this Let's Play. Yeah, I'm already finding out. I feel like I tried a Nuzlocke, I don't know, probably a long time ago. But I think I'm really starting to see the kind of like advantage of doing a Nuzlocke. If you've never done a Nuzlocke before and you're a big Pokemon fan, I would most definitely encourage it, whether it's a randomized one or not. But I feel like the randomized one is really already kind of taking shape in like my own mind, my own sort of psyche, and how I think about this game. Whenever I start any LP, of course there's, I mean, in certain games this is more true than others, but, you know, usually I can get a pretty good sense of, before I even, like, start a level, or, you know, games that don't have, like, clearly defined levels, which actually, now that I think about it, I don't do many LPs that don't have, like, clearly defined, like, levels or, like, clear, like, stopping points. Yeah, which is kind of interesting. But, I mean, I guess I've done a few. Toonstruck and Heart of Darkness. So I've done some of those adventure games where there's not really very clear, like, levels. But anyway, whenever I start an LP, I always... or start a recording session, I usually have like, okay, I'm gonna get to this point, and that feels like a pretty good natural stopping point, and I think it'll take me this long to do this level, and I usually I estimate pretty well. But sort of like case in point to how like doing this Nuzlocke and randomizing it too is shaping my whole experience of this game that I've played, I don't know how many dozens of times, is that when I think back, I'm like, oh, Viridian Forest, that's like 7 minutes. Like, I'll be able to do, you know, I remember thinking like, okay, so episode 1 is going to be the intro episode, I'll get my Pokemon, I'll get to Viridian City. Episode 2, I'll just take care of all of Viridian City, I'll just zip through the forest, and that'll be it. But here I am, having to split this into, well, I mean, I don't know yet, because I'm just kind of recording it all in a streamlined fashion here. I'll have to do the, you know, the editing later, but this is, I feel, gosh, I'm already approaching, like, 20-some minutes, like, and I'm only now starting to battle these bug catchers. Oh, we learned Leer. Awesome. But, yeah, it's just, it's so weird, like, I don't know, oh, I didn't even notice that Beatrix was gaining levels. Oh, well, I guess that makes sense, right? Yeah, okay. Not that admittedly, I'm not, you know, super excited about this. To be quite honest, I think if I had to choose between, given the choice, personally me, given the choice between if you had to keep a Weedle in your party versus keeping a Caterpie in your party, ooh, Hyper Potion, nice. Well, I mean, it's kind of useless now because no one really has that much hit points that would really be that much of a deal. But oh yeah, no. In the long run, I don't know, and I feel like most people agree. I am much more Team Butterfree than I would be Team Beedrill, and I think that's probably, at least for me, it's because I know they're both bug types, and neither one is grass. But something about Butterfree just speaks more like it's more like a grass Pokemon than Beedrill, which is just kind of like a generic poison bug kind of thing. Grass type is my favorite type. I love grass type, mostly because I like status altering stuff. I'm a big fan of like the powders, like Stun Spore, Poison Powder. I don't usually like Sleep Powder. I don't really use Sleep very often when I play Pokemon because I don't like how that eventually like wears off and you don't know when. Yeah, I know you can poison a Pokemon and maybe it gets, you know, someone else has an antidote, but or like a full heal or something because or maybe like a berry in later generations where that can happen. But I like the poison sticks the whole time. Poison's my favorite, you know. Oh, Metapod. So there are some. So there are things other than Caterpie, or sorry, there are things other than Weedles and well, I guess I've seen some Wurples and stuff, but I haven't seen any Caterpies or Metapods in here. Again, I kind of wish Metapod had shown up first because I would have been a little happier with that. I might keep a Butterfree. I could see that taking me probably not all the way to the Elite Four, but like fighting in the Elite Four. Who knows? I mean, Nuzlocke will do crazy things to how you think about Pokemon for sure. But I mean, this Beedrill, or what's gonna become a Beedrill eventually, I'm gonna get it leveled up to a Beedrill, but I think once it's there, I'll keep it as like a backup, but I don't really see myself using Beatrix for too long. But you know, with a Nuzlocke, you never know. You just never know. I was gonna say something about Metapod. Metapod is a Pokemon that has like a really kind of like a, I guess you can say like a personal value to me, if only because thinking back very vaguely to when I was first like introduced to Pokemon, because I'm part of that age range, that generation. I'm 30 years old, so when the first Pokemon game came out, you know, in the U.S. with Red and Blue and everything, I was either like 9 or 10, because you know I don't know the exact. I have my birthday's in December and everything, so I was like 9 or 10, and I remember kind of hearing the word Pokemon, but I didn't really know. But the first Pokemon I ever like saw, and it wasn't even through Game Boy. There was a kid in my class, Billy Shanahan. God, isn't that? I don't know how I remembered his name. This is like 3rd grade. Billy Shanahan brought in. He had Pogs. He had like the Pokemon Pogs. So not even like, oh, he brought his Game Boy or he brought his Pokemon like trading card game cards. No one in my class was really talking about Pokemon too much, but he brought in these Pokemon Pogs. And I remember I was just like kind of like looking at them and I'm like, what is this about? And I looked at the one Pog that I think I picked up several and looked at several, but I remember at least the first one that I picked up, or at least just for some reason the one that I remember the most was a Metapod Pog. It had a picture of it on the front, and on the back it just had like the, I don't know, like reflective kind of silver metallic kind of thing going on. And I looked at him, I'm like, what's a Meatpod? I had like brief dyslexia there where I switched it around. I mean, not that Metapod looks like a very familiar word, especially when you're in like 3rd grade. You know what I mean? Like you learn to read like letters in kind of like a predictable order, and I'm like, a Meatpod? What kind of game has Meatpods? So whenever I think whenever I see a Metapod, I always think of Meatpod instead. if I catch a meta, if down the road if one comes up, I'm gonna have to rename it Meatpod as the nickname. But anyway, that takes us through Viridian Forest, so that's a good stopping point. It's a short video, but you know, that is how it is. So as always, thanks for watching. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. I do always appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.